Welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, write a Java program to demonstrate constructor overloading. Let me answer this question with practical demonstration. First of all, what is constructor overloading? If you are creating constructors inside the same class, definitely they are going to have the same name, which is nothing but the class name, because constructors in Java will have the will and must or should have the same name as the class name. Okay, constructors in Java classes should have the same name of their class name. We cannot give any other name. Okay, so when you create constructors inside the class, they should have the name which is matching with the class. And when you are creating multiple constructors inside the same class, having these duplicate names which are equal to the class names, is that possible? The answer is yes. How it is possible? With the help of constructor overloading. Okay. In constructor overloading, we can create multiple constructors having the same name as the class name inside the same class by differing them in the parameters. That is the number of parameters and the type of parameters. If they are different, then Java will allow you to create constructor overloading. So let me practically demonstrate this stuff for you by giving you some real-time feeling of how this can be done in real-time programming and the purpose of creating constructor overloading with an example I'll create. Okay, I'll explain. For that, I'll switch to Eclipse IDE, and here I'm going to create a new class. I'll just name this class as say hi class. Okay, what is the name of this class? Say hi. That's it. Okay, click on finish. Inside this class, if I have to create a constructor, inside this class, if I have to create a constructor, okay, how can we create a constructor? I'll create one of the constructor, public access modifier I give. The constructors will not have any return type, including void will not be there. And the name of the constructor should match with the name of the class. Like this, I'll create public name of the constructor is matching with the name of the class. That's compulsory, and constructors will not have any return type. So here zero parameters are there. Here I'll simply write down system.out.println. Hi there. Hi there, I'll say. Hi there. That's it. Okay. Now I want to create another constructor inside the same class, and the constructor should have the same name as the class name. So I'm creating one more constructor here. Say hi. Okay, another constructor I am creating. The moment I create the similar constructor here, the Java will not allow you to create a duplicate constructor here because this constructor has the same name. You see, here the constructor has the same name. Duplicate method say hi in type say hi is there. It's asking us to remove that. But there is a way in Java, that is by using constructor overloading. Even though we cannot exactly replicate the constructors, even though they have the same name as a class name, and zero parameters are there here, zero parameters are there. As per the constructor overloading concept, if you add one parameter here, then it is possible to create duplicate constructors here. Okay, overloaded constructors here, because they differ in, they may have the same name as a class name, but the number of parameters, if it is different, then Java will allow you to create duplicates. Okay, only when the same name constructors, if you want to create multiple constructors, if you want to create inside the same class, then it should have a parameter string name, I'll say. Okay, for the second one, I'll say string name system.out.println. Hi. Instead of hi there, I'll say hi plus name. Okay, whatever the name, right, is passed to this parameter of this constructor, that name will be printed. Instead of hi there, it will print hi name. Now I'll create one more constructor which has the same name as a class name, because the constructors should and must have the same name as a class names. And here, if I say string name, again there is a problem. Here zero parameters are there, at least one parameter, so this is not a problem for them. But here again the same name is there, same parameter is there. So what I'll do is I'll increase the number of parameters. I'll increase the number of parameters. Here I'll write down, okay, string welcome, welcome message. Okay. Okay. So whatever the welcome message I would like to print, okay, I'll simply write down here, hi, hi, whatever the name, two parameters are there, so overloading is possible. Okay, plus dot hi name. Okay, and here I'll put that welcome message. Okay, whatever the welcome message is there, right? I'll put it here. Okay, well, plus welcome message, I am going to print it out. Okay, along with the hi name, I'm also welcoming the user or something. And also, I can give something like this public. What is the other way of creating the constructors here and avoid the compiler error? I'll copy the same thing here. Public say hi, string name is there, right? Here, int ID I'll give. Instead of the name, I'll give the ID, okay, in the integer format. You see, this is also overloading only. This say hi is with the name, hi, ID. Right, okay, with the help of ID, I'm just saying hi, okay? But here, this is constructor overloading. Why? Because even though they have the same name, okay, they have different types of parameters. The only one parameter is there, here also one parameter, but the type of the parameter is string here. The type of the parameter is int here, okay? That's how constructor overloading is possible. You can create multiple constructors having the same name, and it must be the same name as a class name inside the same class. When they differ in the number of parameters, either the number of parameters should be different or the type of parameter should be different. Here, for example, here 0 parameters, here 1 parameter, here 2 parameters. So number of parameters should be different, or the type of parameters. Here only one parameter, but the type of this parameter is string, the type of this parameter is int. Because of that, it is possible. Now I'll create one class. I'll simply name this class, another class as demo hi. So what is the advantage of creating this overloaded constructors which have the same name but either different number of parameters or different type of parameters, because of which the Java is allowing you to create multiple constructors having the same name despite of having, okay, same name, it's being created instead of considering them as duplicate. Why? Because constructor overloading, number of parameters, type of parameters, if they are different, that's okay. Okay, Java will not consider them as duplicate constructors. Okay, here this concept is called as constructor overloading. And what is the purpose of the constructor overloading? When I want to create an object for this class, either you can create an object, okay, either you can create an object by calling this constructor, or when you're creating an object for this class, if you don't want to call this constructor, you can call this constructor or this constructor or this constructor. Multiple ways of creating the objects are possible now. That is the ultimate purpose of the constructor overloading is, okay? The ultimate purpose of the constructor overloading is to create the objects for this class in different ways, okay? For example, I'll say hi, hi1 is equal to sh1, say hi1 is equal to say hi. Like this, I can create a constructor. I mean, create an object like new, say hi. You see, in this case, which constructor will be called? In this object creation statement, which constructor will be called? The constructor that doesn't have any parameters will be called. That means hi there will be printed. Run this code, right click run as Java application, run this code. Hi there will be printed in the output case. You see, hi there got printed in the output. Okay. Now I don't want this constructor to be called. Another way of creating the object. Okay. I want to create an object in another way. When I create an object, another type of constructor should be called sh2 is equal to new say hi of, instead of empty constructor, I'll pass the name. Let's say Arun is the name. Okay, I'll pass. So in this, out of this four overloaded constructor, which constructor will be called here? Empty constructor will not be called. Empty parameterized constructor will not be called. Instead, here this data argument is of which type in the constructor calling statement, string type. So this constructor will be called. Arun will go here and hi Arun will be printed. Okay, run this code and observe that. Right click run as Java application and say Arun will be printed here, guys. Okay, hi Arun will be printed here. Okay, earlier hi there was printed. Now hi Arun is getting printed because this constructor is being called while you are creating an object. You have the flexibility of creating the objects in your own way, guys. Okay, there are multiple ways of creating objects here. In this object, this constructor is being called, and when you're creating this kind of objects, this constructor is being called. Another way of sh3, I'll say sh3 is equal to new say hi of, I'll write down say hi of, I'll give the ID number this time. Okay, 1 2 3 4 is the ID, okay, of this user. Let's say, okay, 1 2 3 4 or 1 4 3 2. like some unique ID I'm giving. But so when I create an object for this class with the help of this constructor, you see this another way. Multiple ways of creating the objects are possible. This time, this constructor will be called when you are creating an object for this class. This constructor will be called instead of other constructors, and because integer value are passing, not string value. So this constructor will be called, and hi 1432 will be printed here. Okay, hi ID number. So some raw agent numbers will be there. In that case, you can use this constructor. Okay, okay, right? Then you don't want to call them with the name, you want to call with the help of their IDs, so you can do that. Then say hi sh4 is equal to new say hi. Okay, say hi sh4 is equal to new say hi. And here the last one, another way of creating the constructor is that I would like to pass my name Arun and also the welcome message. Okay, welcome to this Java program. Hi Arun, welcome to this Java program. Whatever the message you pass from here, okay, that will go into this particular constructor, guys. You see, because there are two arguments here. Into the first one, name will go, and into that second one, welcome message will go. Here, welcome message is something like welcome to Java. This Java program is a welcome message. Run this code and see that this time it will say, hi Arun, welcome to this Java program will be printed. Okay. So if I uncomment all this stuff together, if I run them, you see, every time I'm creating an object, okay, I showed you in real time what is the benefit of this constructor overloading, and create objects in different ways where different type of constructors can be called instead of one type, and different constructors will do different stuff. Okay. So run this code. You see, just run this code and observe that hi there got printed by first object creation. Second object statement is calling the constructor having the name hi Arun. And third object creation statement is calling the constructor having the idea hi 1432. Hi Arun, welcome to this Java program is printed by the last. Okay. So this is the thing, guys. This is the thing. Okay. So hope guys you understood. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Okay. If you want to take the screenshot of this program, you can take the screenshot, guys. So I think this is enough. You can see both the screens, and you can take a screenshot for a while if you want to practice this constructor overloading where multiple constructors having the same name as a class name can be created with the different number of parameters or different type of the parameters. And this is called as constructor holding. Now you can take a screenshot. Hope you have taken the screenshot, guys. So with practical demonstration, I've answered this question for you. What is demonstrating constructor overloading with Java program? So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.